Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Capitol Hill update. We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. My name is Tabitha Walter, and I'm the political director of Eagle Forum.
And I'm Kirsten Hassler, our executive director. We now have been in lockdown for about 9 months. One of the most egregious attacks on our constitutional rights has been the shutdown of our religious freedoms. However, last week, the Supreme Court dealt a win to people of faith just in time for Thanksgiving. In a 5-4 decision, the court issued injunctive relief to 2 New York religious organizations who were denied their rights.
Yeah, those two organizations were Agudath Israel of America and the Roman Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn. And they both sued New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo because of the blatant discriminatory COVID restrictions on religious institutions. Now, Governor Cuomo created color-coded zones across the city that imposed differing limitations on everyday operations. And a lot of governors have done this across the nation. Both religious organizations were deemed to be in high-risk areas, which severely limited the number of people who could enter their buildings, even with sanitary protocols in place. However, nearby businesses such as liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries were allowed to operate as usual because they were deemed as, quote, essential.
President Trump's 3 Supreme Court confirmations, Justices Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and Amy Coney Barrett, were all a part of the majority. Along with them, Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. Justice Gorsuch had a great opinion that is worth reading. I'll read an excerpt. Government is not free to disregard the First Amendment in times of crisis. The governor has chosen to impose no capacity restrictions on certain businesses he considers essential. And it turns out the businesses the governor considers essential include hardware stores, acupuncturists, and liquor stores. Bicycle repair shops, certain signage companies, accountants, lawyers, and insurance agents are all essential as well. So, at least according to the governor, it may be unsafe to go to church, but it is always fine to pick up another bottle of wine, shop for a new bike, or spend the afternoon exploring distal points and meridians. Who knew public health would be so perfectly aligned with secular convenience? He goes on to say, the only explanation for treating religious places differently seems to be a judgment that what happens there just isn't as essential as what happens in secular spaces. Indeed, the governor is remarkably frank about this. In his judgment, laundry and liquor, travels and tools are all essential, while traditional religious exercises are not. That is exactly the kind of discrimination the First Amendment forbids.
Yeah, I just love that SCOTUS sass. He's so right. He clearly lays out the argument why this is discriminatory and why it imposes on our religious beliefs and our freedoms. This is such a great example, too, of what a Republican majority in the U.S. Senate has given us over the last few years. Of course, we have a Democrat-led House, which meant that conservative legislation rarely was sent to the president's desk during his term. However, the Senate is solely responsible for judicial confirmations and has confirmed 3 judges to the Supreme Court who are not swayed by the whims of a culture who wants to dismantle our nation's freedoms. They have been more than willing to uphold our rights as Americans for generations to come, which leads me to an action item that you can get involved with. The balance of the Senate depends on an upcoming runoff election in Georgia with Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Both of them need to win their elections in January to keep the Republican majority in the Senate. So to get involved, go to our website and check out the article titled, "We Need You to Keep the Senate," and we'll provide that link for you here.
In the upcoming weeks, we are monitoring a spending package that may include COVID relief. This is the perfect opportunity for Democrats to spend money, and massive amounts of it, on unnecessary items and undermine pro-life priorities. Keep an eye out for an alert on this coming to your inbox soon. I actually think it went out a few minutes ago.
Oh, nice.
We'll also link it in the comment section as well. So if you aren't signed up for our email alerts, we really encourage you to do so at eagleforum.org. And thank you so much for joining us for today's Capitol Hill update. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below, and we'll plan to see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern.